Well, today we are going to discuss about the objective and program of the Congress. Yesterday we have talked that how in 1885 Indian National Congress has came into existence. The first session was held at Bombay, and Surendranath Banerjee was he presided. Sir Elian Actium, whom the retired British civil servant, he took initiative in the formation of the Congress. He played a leading role, and he was made first secretary. Now, for what purpose the Congresses came into existence, it is obvious in the speech that is given by Elian Actium Hum in the first session, and that is what we are going to discuss about it. Uh, so in his inaugural address, he says, this is the purpose of Indian National Congress. And what are those purpose? To bring the nationalist people working in different parts of the country together. Yesterday we discussed that कि जो अलग अलग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन भारत के अलग अलग प्रांतों में काम कर रहे थे, लोगों के मन में ये एहसास हुआ, people started feeling that there should be an all India organization where people across the country can come together. Next, the Congress will facilitate friendly relation and thus reduce the prejudice. We generally have a kind of prejudice against the people belonging to another region, and the Congress will try to reduce this prejudice. They will bring the people together, and there are a number of issues in the Indian society that needs to be addressed, and Congress will create an opportunity so that issues can be discussed. And next important objective was that in which way the national leader will work in future. So, very important, we see that these are the general objectives with which Congress has came into existence. And the session it continued, and at the end of the session Congress has passed the resolution. What is the objective, that is obvious in the speech of secretary, the first secretary A.O. Hume, as well as in the resolution also, because of the first speech was, that is a kind of initiation, inaugural speech, but at the end of the 3 days discussion this resolution was passed. And here what they suggested to the British government, first thing is that they should appoint a commission to inquire into the administration in India. Probably there is certain things which यहाँ के प्रशासन में there are certain things which are not going in the right direction, and for that there should be a commission and inquiry should be held. Indian Council, which used to assist Secretary of State for India in England, in England there was an Office of Secretary of State, and that Secretary of State was assisted by Indian Council, and there used to be a lot of expenditure on this Indian Council. They were having 15 members, and all the Secretary of State and as well as all those 15 members, they were paid salary from the Indian Revenue. इंडिया में जो revenue generate होता था वहां से उनको salary दी जाती थी. So यहाँ लोगों ने कहना, तो कांग्रेस said that कि expenditure जो उसके ऊपर हुआ है उसको हम लोग बंद कर देते, that is unnecessary. Then next objective was that more people's representatives should be appointed to central and provincial legislative council, and they should have right to ask question about financial and political matters. They were the Congress was more in favor of Indianization of the administration. Central and provincial assembly. There used to be assembly at the central which used to assist Viceroy or Governor General, and there used to be assembly at the provincial level which used to assist governor. But these assemblies are mostly the British civil servants. They used to occupy the position in those assembly. So Congress wanted that there should be more of political representation, more of India should be allowed to take part in that council, and they should be having freedom to ask financial and political matter. Legislative council should be given to Punjab and Northwest province. These states, they did not have legislative council. It was ruled over by the lieutenant governor, and lieutenant governor used to take directly order from the governor general of India. So nobody can question. But Congress demanded that they should be given legislative assemblies. जो खर्चा डिफेंस पे होता था, आर्मी पे होता था, उसको कम किया जाए. और दूसरी बात यह है कि कांग्रेस का ये भी कहना था कि जो लड़ाइयाँ ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट लड़ती है, it doesn't benefit anyway to the Indian people. That is, the Britishers are doing, like, in Afghanistan, Britishers are doing to protect their imperial interests or to increase their empire. And as the Indian people are not benefited, the expenditure, at least half of the expenditure, should be given by England. Technical and military education should be given to Indian. You know, the kind of education that was started by the British in India was mostly to prepare clerk so that the Indian can serve them in the offices of the British administration. And it is the military officers used to be generally coming from European countries. And Congress demanded that technical education and military education should be given. The civil services, which used to recruit, through which officers for the British administration were recruited, was generally held, it used to be held in England. And the age limit was very less. So it became very, very difficult for the Indian people. You know, it was 21 earlier and it was later on reduced to 19. So it became very difficult for any Indian person to compete for that kind of exam. Even syllabus was also, they were following the syllabus that is taught in the universities in England. So it was very difficult for any Indian to become a civil servant, and Congress demanded that the age limit should be increased first thing, and the examination along with England, it should be also conducted in India. There was, under the British government, there was too much of centralization of the power. बहुत सारा power एक ही person के हाथ में concentrate किया जाता था. So judiciary and executive function should be separated. They should not be concentrated in the hand. For example, there was district magistrate and district collector combined into one. So he will also deliver justice. He will also run the administration. That is called executive function. So that should be separated. And protection should be given to Indian industries in the form of import duty. If you impose import duty on the goods that is imported from England, obviously their cost will go higher, and in that way Indian industry, the production of the Indian industry, will be able to compete. Salt tax, salt tax, you see, it's very long demand, and it continued till 1930. In Mahatma Gandhi has to do that Dandi March later on. Salt tax it's affecting the poor people because everybody needs salt, and that salt tax should be removed. So this was the demand. And what was the method of working? This is the general. Even next topic is about the functioning of moderate. So the things are overlapping. एक यही बात है, कांग्रेस के शुरू का जो उद्देश्य था और काम करने का जो तरीका था वो मॉडरेट का तरीका. कांग्रेस के शुरू के जो 20 साल थे, 20 years, that is considered as an era of moderate, नरमपंथी. तो ये सारे चर्चा होती थी 3 दिन, and those resolutions used to be passed, and then it was sent to government in the form of petition. All the now Another important dimension of the early functioning of Congress is that all the Congress leader from the stage, from the dais of Congress, they expressed their loyalty towards the British government and Queen, and they requested, they hope that the government will be sympathetic to their request. We see that later on Congress moved away from this loyalty towards the British government. All right. So the main objective was that to get certain concession for the Indian people, and they express their loyalty. So this is where I aid this topic, objective and program of the Congress, and we will now move on to the next topic. That is about ideology of the moderate. Just hold on. Well, I hope you are able to see this. Now, as I told you that Congress came into existence, and the early phase, around 20 years or so, was considered as the phase of the moderate Narampanthy. And their general way of working was that annual session was called, and in that there used to be deliberation, discussion, the resolution will be passed, and that resolution will be sent to the British government in the form of prayer and petitions. Well, uh, so now demand generally during all this phase, the general demand was of very mild nature. For example, the Indian Council should be abolished, unnecessary expenditure. This is already discussed in the last topic. There should be more people representatives should be appointed in the central and legislative council. Again, the same objective I told you. Expansion of council and the power of the council should be increased. Salt tax is removed. Indian textile industry, which is newly emerging, should be protected. Expenditure on defense forces should be reduced. So this is all repetition. All right. The tax on peasant should be reduced. Jury system should be made applicable while trying Indian accused. Jury system was applicable to the European criminal. What is the jury system? A judge will be there in the court. Vakil will be there from both the side, and there will be some eminent person who are known for their integrity and who had a reputation will be sitting there listening to all the proceeding of the court, and at the end of the proceeding they will give their judgment, and that judgment will be handed over to the judge, and then judge will give his declaration whether the accused is to be punished or not. Now, this facility of jury was available only to the European. Now, that is to be extended to the Indian. That was a demand. Judiciary and executive function should be separated. More and more opportunity should be given for the Indian people to enter in the civil services. So, generally, the resolution demanding these demand were passed, and they were sent to the government. Most of the early Congress leader, they came from highly educated family, and most of them have earned their education in the Western countries, especially in England. And in the initial year, Congress had faith into the British government. They believed that the Congress leader believed that we are facing problem because the British administrative machinery is not understanding our problem. And if we are able to put up our problem in the right manner, in the right spirit, definitely our grievances will be redressed and there will be the resolution. They never thought of ending the British rule. And the only demand was that under the British rule, Indian people should be given some basic political right and the right of self-determination. There should be increasing association with the administration. So, they believed in the process of very slow political reform because, England, in England, democracy came very slowly, very gradually. The king has slowly given away his power to parliament, and the nature of parliament also undergone change. And as these people were influenced by the Western democracy, impressed by the Western democracy, they have earned their degrees in the Western countries in England. They believed that this kind of slow process, slow reform is better for the Indian people. Next thing, what important thing they have done is that they created a public opinion. They have provided important platform to the people across the country so that they can come together and they can discuss the matter. And another important thing is that as the Congress session used to be held in the different parts of the country, sometimes in Lahore, sometimes in Chennai. So it has become an all India body, and every year these people used to have their session generally in the month of the December. So that has brought kind of continuity in the political work. Otherwise, you just have one agitation and then you just stop. Then there will be no continuity. So every year, what is the work done in the last 1 year? What were the resolution passed in the last year that were discussed? And so far, what are our achievements? Another important work done by the moderate is that they have given a foundation of the economic and secular nationalism. What is the meaning of economic and secular nationalism is that they made it clear to the people, they explained to the people that the nature of the colonial government in India is of exploitative nature. यहाँ हमारे आर्थिक शोषण किया जाता है, और इस बात से उन्होंने लोगों को अवगत कराया, इस बात के बारे में लोगों को एजुकेट किया अपने लिखान से, अपने भाषणों से, अपने स्पीच से. और इंडिया जैसे इट इज अ मल्टी रिलीजन कंट्री, सो दे आल्सो बिलीव दैट द नेशनलिज्म शुड बी सेक्युलर नेशनलिज्म. इसके बाद में हम लोग देखते जब एक्सट्रीमिस्ट का राइज हुआ, तो एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विद इन द कांग्रेस were more influenced by the Hindu nationalism, Hindu ideals. That we'll discuss it later on. Let me just check if I am missing anything. Yeah, explain that Dada Bhai, the moderate leader like Dada Bhai Nauroji, he educated the people about the exploratory nature. We have already studied about R.C. Dutt. R.C. Dutt was also moderate, and he also wrote that economic history of British India, through which he, in a very detail, explained the exploitative nature of the British administrative structure in India. This moderate, they also tried to create public opinion in England. Dadabhai Naoroji, he went to England, he stayed there for a very long period, and interestingly, he became member of the British Parliament. So, that is an interesting thing to learn, that, and in the British Parliament, he tried to create public opinion in favor of the rights of the Indian people. Congress delegations used to go to England, and they opened branch in here. The Congress leader used to belong to the different religion and coming from different region. So they have set a kind of example that we can rise above our narrow interest, narrow identity, and cooperate with each other for the national interest. Now, what are the achievements of this moderate Congress during this early phase? In 1892, the British Parliament passed the resolution of reform in the State Legislative Assembly. Okay, some reforms has to be given now as Congress is agitating and demanding. In 1893, the British Parliament passed the law of holding civil service examination in India as well. But however, these concessions were not adequate. People were not satisfied, and that is the reason we and this. Though the British Parliament passed the law, the civil service examination was not conducted in India, and that is the reason we find that there was a rise of extremism within the Congress, which we will be discussing now. But nevertheless, Congress had done an important work during the moderate period, like providing a single platform, giving notion of economic and secular nationalism, and Congress generally became an accepted national party. Now, what was the British reaction to Congress? Though initially, the first in the first session, A.O. Hume has taken initiative, and it seems that the British government had some sympathy to the cause of the Indian people. But later on, they got suspicious about the motive of Congress, and the instructions were given that no British civil servant should be the part of the Congress, and they called Congress as a very microscopic minority, very small people, educated people, and they don't generally represent the Indian masses. That is what the Britishers took stand. And another interesting thing is that what was the reaction of the Muslims? The Muslim leader like Badruddin Tayyib, he asked the Muslim to join Congress in the large number. But on the other hand, the people like Sir Syed Ahmad Khan, he believed that the interest of the मुसलमानों का इंटरेस्ट इसमें है कि वो ब्रिटिशों के साथ में कॉपरेट करे और कांग्रेस के साथ में ना जाए। तो उन्होंने भारत के मुसलमानों को कहा कि आप कांग्रेस में शामिल मत होइए, एंड देन स्लोली वी फाइंड दैट significant, though there were a number of Muslims who remained with Congress, but still the significant majority of them, they went and joined hands with Sir Syed Ahmad Khan and later on Barrister Muhammad Ali Jinnah. Well, so this is all about the work of the moderate. So their generally method was to have to come together to pass the resolution, and then send the resolution in the form of prayer to the British government, and the British government generally did not take those petitions very seriously. So this is where end about the phase of the moderate, and now we will discuss about the extremists within the Congress. In case you are having any doubt, you can just put your question in the chat box. Well, I hope you are able to see this new PPT, Rise of Extremists Within the Congress. Now, please remember, when we talk about Congress, that does not mean that they were revolutionaries. They were picking up gun to fight. Extremists here means that their method was different than the moderate. The earlier moderate, they used to send, pass the resolution and send it in the form of prayer to the British government. But the extremists believe that this kind of method will not work. We need to take a stand, and we need to criticize the government, and if possible, we need to start non-cooperating with the British government so that the British government is in trouble. So they believed in putting the British government in trouble. British government को कुछ trouble करना जरूरी है, नहीं तो हमारी बातें नहीं सुनेंगे, इस बात के ऊपर उनका विश्वास था. तो ये जो विचारधाराएं थी उसी को एक्सट्रीमिस्ट विद इन द कांग्रेस कहा जाता है. दे एक्सट्रीमिस्ट डज नॉट मीन दैट they have just picked up the gun. They are called revolutionaries. Well, now why did this extremist rose in the Congress? Congress earlier phase, they used to preach loyalty towards the British government, and the national anthem of England, "Long Live the King," used to be sung from the platform of the Congress. Now, why these changes have started coming? There are a number of reasons. So generally, the period from 1893 to 1907 is considered as a period where the extremists within the Congress, they went on increasing. And the reason is the method of the moderate. The young generation in the Congress, among in the Indian educated youth, they were not satisfied with with the way this moderate leader used to work. They will just pass the resolution. They will come together 3 days in a year and submit it in the form of a request. And as the British government did not respond to the request of the moderate, धीरे धीरे क्या हुआ, ये एक्सट्रीमिस्ट दे लॉस्ट फेथ इन द मेथड ऑफ द मॉडरेट. दे स्टार्टेड बिलीविंग, उनको लगा कि ये मेथड तो काम नहीं कर रही है. आप रिक्वेस्ट करते हो लेकिन ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट तो उसको कचरे के डिब्बे में फेंक देती है. And slowly this extremists within the Congress, they started openly criticizing the Congress leader for its functioning. And the younger generation like Tilak and Lala Lajpat Rai, they started believing that these elderly people of Congress, they are not willing to take the risk. They just want to sit in the boardroom in the comfort of their home, and they want to talk about nationalism and patriotism. And the British government also did not take the demand of the moderate very seriously. And like, Lord Elgin, he said, India was won by force and it will be kept under by force. So that's kind of attitude from the British administration has created atmosphere where the people started drifting towards the extremists. Now, this early Congress leader, they used to also praise the British, and this has also angered the younger generation. They said, these people are ruling over us, they are exploiting us, and you are unnecessarily praising the British. Even there are some leader like British leader like Hindman. He said this praise for the British is unnecessary. They are exploiting you. And the younger people gradually they started believing that this prayer and petitions are not enough. We need to do something different than this. And moderates generally they kept the Congress confined to the upper strata of the society, elites. They used to talk in English. They will write their paper in English. Their speeches used to be in English, and extremists, younger generation, they started believing that what these people are saying and communicating is first thing very mild, and secondly they are not able to connect with the masses. Large number of masses don't understand such a high English, and if we need to take the Congress movement to the masses, and until unless we do that, Congress is not going to be an effective body. British are not going to give us any concession. And then these extremists, they started criticizing Congress policies in the newspaper as well. Because of the effort of the moderate, the Council Act of 1892 was passed. And when the announcement was made about the act, there was Indian people were happy. But, and it was projected as a big victory for Congress. But when the Council Act became a reality, people were quite dissatisfied. The kind of concession that was given in the Council Act was not adequate to satisfy the demand and aspiration of the Indian people. वो Indian लोगों की demand पूरी नहीं करता था. Then there was a growing realization about the exploitative nature. Of course, moderate did speak about it, but nevertheless, people are becoming more and more aware. The Indian industries, they continue to remain underdeveloped. Condition of peasant, it became worse due to overtaxation. And people begin to realize that instead of using the British goods now, let us start using Swadeshi, Indian made goods, so that the money can go to our own people who are manufacturing those goods. And there was a growing dissatisfaction among the Indian people. 1895 to 1900, there were famine in the different parts of the country, epidemic, and large number of people died. But the British government did not come forward to help. On the other hand, they imposed taxes forcibly. They collected those taxes forcibly. Then, as the education was spreading among the Indian people, more and more Indian people started aspiring to become to reach to the higher rank, and there was a dissatisfaction among these educated Indian people. The first thing is that you are prevented from entering into the civil services as the examination is conducted in England. And secondly, even if somebody enters, like RC Dutt's example we have already seen, even if somebody enters, there is a discrimination. वहां पर भेदभाव होता था. यूरोपियन ऑफिसर को अच्छी पोस्ट दी जाती थी, उनके प्रमोशंस पास होते थे, एंड देयर वाज डिस्क्रिमिनेशन अगेंस्ट द इंडियन पीपल. एंड एट द सेम टाइम इटली के जो लीडर थे मैजिनी एंड गैरिबाल्डी, हु टुक टू आर्म्स, उन्होंने एक आर्म रिवॉल्व करके इटली को यूनिफाई किया था. एंड that Indian people came to know about their struggle of nationalism, and then they started believing that until unless we are ready to sacrifice, until unless we are ready to struggle, until unless we are ready to take on the might of the British Empire, we are not going to get any concession. So this dissatisfied educated Indian people, youth especially, they started drifting towards the extremist ideas within the Congress, which believed that we should now start creating trouble for the British government. Please remember, creating trouble for the British government does not mean that using the violence for it. That means there are different methods of extremism that we'll be discussing later on, like, Swadeshi and boycott. Then, whenever the Indian people used to travel outside, they were not treated with respect, because the people outside the country, they knew that Indian people are under the control of the British. They are being enslaved, and that has also hurted the self-respect of the many Indian people. Indian people were not treated with respect in South Africa as well. Then came the information about the Boxer rebellion in China, where the young Chinese men, they rebelled against the European people, and they started violence against them. Then there was a movement in Egypt. So, all this nationalism movement in Europe, as well as the movement in other parts of the world like China and Egypt. Then Japan's victory over Russia in 1905, it has started influencing the young mind, and then they realize that we will not get political concession by just demanding it. We need to fight for it. Then at the same time, Lord Curzon came to India as Governor General, and he treated the princely states, Indian princess, with disrespect. He was not in favor of giving higher education to the Indian people. He gave humiliating treatment to the Indian. He made very derogatory, very disrespectful remark about the educated Indian. And finally, he partitioned Bengal. Partition of Bengal we will be discussing. But all these activities of Lord Curzon, that he was doing by his dictatorial attitude, had also angered the Indian people, and then they drifted towards the extremists. And the important leader of the extremists were Lal Bal Pal. Now, what were the ideology and method of the extremist leader? The purpose of extremist leaders was to give new direction to the Congress and to arouse the masses, to take this movement to the masses, common masses. And they did not believe that the Britishers will give us concession willingly. We need to fight for it. Colonial rule, the rule from the people from outside, is never beneficial for the people of that native country. ब्रिटिशों का रूल हमारे लिए कभी भी अच्छा नहीं हो सकता, ये उन्होंने समझाने की कोशिश की, क्योंकि अर्लियर मॉडरेट जो थे वो यही कहते थे कि ब्रिटिशों का रूल हमारे लिए अच्छा है, हम लोग धीरे धीरे कंसेशन लेंगे. बट द एक्सट्रीमिस्ट डिड नॉट बिलीव कि ब्रिटिशर्स विल बी गिविंग अस कंसेशन. ब्रिटिश जिस तरीके का एजुकेशन हमें देते हैं, दैट काइंड ऑफ एजुकेशन इज नॉट सुटेबल फॉर द इंडियन पीपल, एंड वी शुड चेंज इट टू बाय द इंडियन एजुकेशन. And another important change that came under the extremists is that, as you know, the moderate has given a concept of secular nationalistic nationalism. And in contrast, the extremist leaders, their feeling of nationalism were inspired by the Hindu tradition, generally speaking. For example, Lokmanya Tilak, the important extremist leader, he started public worship of Lord Ganesha, and then Chhatrapati Shivaji, celebration of Shivaji Jayanti. So, this extremist leader, they took out the Hindu heroes, especially from the history, and then they used them to inspire the people. For example, Lala Lajpat Rai, he wrote book on Shivaji. Bankim Chandra wrote on Hindu tradition. R.C. Datta, he wrote on Shivaji, Rana Pratap. This became the leader so that the masses should feel inspired about the activities of their ancestors, and they should become politically active. Uh, and another important dimension of the extremists like Tilak is that they did not like that any government or the British government should anyway criticize the Indian tradition. They believe that it is our society and we will reform our society. For example, when the Britishers they tried to raise the marriageable age of a girl, Tilak opposed it. He said that you don't interfere in our social matter. At the same time, uh, he started, Ganesh Puja, Shivaji Jayanti. Then he started gymnasium where in Pune where the people can earn their health, become stronger. He also started teaching them sword fighting and boxing in case it is required. In his paper, like Kesri and Maratha, Kesri used to be published in Marathi and Maratha used to be published in English. Through this paper, he started openly criticizing the British policies. And Tilak, he criticized not only British policies, he also criticized the moderate leader. He said that you are not willing to take the risk. You just want to sit in the comfort of your house and talk about patriotism. Patriotism is not like that. You need to be willing to put an effort. And in fact, among the major leaders, Tilak was the person who was imprisoned first. He had gone through, and he believed that until unless I am ready to take the pain, until unless I am ready to put up with the hardship, I cannot be a leader. Then there was a famine in 1995 in Maharashtra, and Tilak took advantage of it. He said the British are not doing enough for the people of India during the plague situation, and he had his volunteer to work for the people. Then in 1895, Pune Sarvajanik Sabha, he became important leader, and he used this platform to arouse the masses, sent villagers, sent young people to educate the people about the famine relief, and accuse the British government that you are not doing enough for the people. And these activities of Tilak, his writing, his speeches against and open criticism of the British government has angered the government. His writing has through Kesri and Maratha became very popular. And in 1893 there were Hindu-Muslim riots, and here also Tilak criticized British government for not doing enough to save the life of the people. In 1897-98 there was an outbreak of plague, and the behavior of the British is used by British police and military used by Tilak to arouse the masses against the Britishers. The British soldiers they used to enter the plague is a contagious disease. So the person with the plague is to be removed from the house and shifted to the isolation camp outside the village. But people were not willing to let their loved one to be taken away. And but the Britishers they took a very strict stand. The soldiers will enter into the house, even the woman's chamber in the house of worship where the gods are kept. The idols are kept by the Hindus with shoes on. And this was considered as quite insulting, and they used to forcibly remove the people to be taken to the isolation camp, and was considered as a very insulting. And Tilak used this situation to arouse masses against the British, and that is how the extremists became more popular. Another important thing that has given rise to the extremists within the Congress is partition of Bengal. The Bengal was a very huge province. We'll be talking about partition of Bengal, and the Lord Curzon has taken initiative to partition it into the two parts. Their intention was to weaken the national movement, obviously, and but it has backfired. In a reaction to the partition of Bengal, Swadeshi movement was launched, and which made this extremists within the Congress more popular. So extremists within the Congress they generally followed the policy of use of Swadeshi, and boycott of the foreign good and system of national education. Large number of schools and colleges were started by this nationalistic leader, and the education was given that is different than what was taught in the government universities and colleges. 300 national schools and 25 middle schools were open in Bengal itself. Mm, Well, now this difference here, the extremists they also started criticizing moderate, and these differences went on increasing. There was a political struggle, power struggle within the Congress. Tilak, being a very important leader of the extremists, people wanted him to be made as the president of Congress, but moderate they refused. And in fact, 1907 session was supposed to be held at Nagpur, but in Nagpur, Tilak had a lot of influence, and as a result, the venue of the session was changed to Surat. Surat was a stronghold of moderate, and there in that Surat session there was a fighting and conflict between the extremists and moderate, and the Congress became, there was a split in the Congress. Split in the sense the extremists were expelled from the Congress, including Tilak, but Tilak did not start another party because he believed that Congress is important and I should not do anything that will harm Congress. He just wanted to change the nature of the Congress, but moderate like Firoz Shah Mehta did not allow him to do that. So here we end about the discussion about our extremists. The first thing is that you should be aware about the causes behind the rise of the extremists, that they were satisfied with the method of moderate and different dictatorial actions taken by the British government, especially by Lord Curzon. Next thing is that the method of the extremists were different than the moderate. Moderate believed in having a prayer, having a, sending petition in the form of prayer and requesting the government. They had faith in the British government. Extremists did not had faith in the British government, and their method was, like use of Swadeshi and boycott, because they believed that if you boycott the foreign goods, that will badly affect the economy of England. So this is where we end our discussion about the rise of extremists. Extremists within the Congress objective. Well, and now let us go ahead and discuss about the partition of Bengal. Well, okay. Well, okay. Now, this partition of Bengal has put into the effect by Lord Curzon. But before Lord Curzon came to India, there was discussion about partition of Bengal in the British government circle. क्या था ना, जो बंगाल का जो प्रोविंस था वो बहुत बड़ा था. आसाम का प्रेजेंट आसाम का कुछ पार्ट था. आज का जो बांग्लादेश है वो पूरा, आज का जो वेस्ट बंगाल है वो उसमें था. बिहार, उड़ीसा. तो बिहार, उड़ीसा, वेस्ट बंगाल, बंगाल और आसाम, ये सारा मिला के बंगाल प्रोविंस होता था. सो दैट वाज अ वेरी ह्यूज प्रोविंस. और वहां पर ब्रिटिशों के राज्य की शुरुआत, ब्रिटिशों के साम्राज्य की शुरुआत ही बंगाल से हुई थी. तो उन्होंने अपनी शिक्षा, वेस्टर्न एजुकेशन जो था वो बंगाल में सबसे पहले शुरू किया. और उसी का परिणाम हम लोग देखते हैं कि नेशनलिज्म या एजिटेशन अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट इट स्टार्टेड फर्स्ट इन बंगाल, और बंगाल में ये वाइड स्प्रेड हो गया. नेशनलिज्म जब वहां पर वाइड स्प्रेड हो गया, तो ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट अपने तरीके से तो वो कहते थे कि वी आर डिवाइडिंग दिस प्रोविंस ऑफ बंगाल फॉर द एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव रीजन. इतने बड़े प्रोविंस को प्रशासन, इतने बड़े प्रोविंस का प्रशासन चलाना ये बहुत दिक्कत होती है, बहुत कठिन होता है. तो इसको हम लोग बांट देंगे आपस में. लेकिन भारतीय लोग जो थे, उन्होंने इस बात को इंटरप्रेट इसलिए इस तरीके से किया कि ये एक, दिस इज अ डेलिबरेट पॉलिसी ऑन द पार्ट ऑफ द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट, दैट दे वांट टू वीकन द नेशनलिस्टिक मूवमेंट दैट इज बिकमिंग वेरी स्ट्रांग इन बंगाल. और पार्टीशन भी कैसे किया, जो ईस्ट बंगाल था, उस ईस्ट बंगाल में बंगाली स्पीकिंग कुछ एरिया रहेगा और आसाम रहेगा। तो उसके कारण क्या हो गया था, वहां पर बंगाली स्पीकिंग लोग मेजोरिटी में जरूर है, लेकिन दे वर ऑफ मुस्लिम रिलीजन एंड हिंदूज वहां पर कम थे, क्योंकि देखिए नेशनलिज्म की भावना बिकॉज ऑफ एजुकेशन और बिकॉज ऑफ डिफरेंट रीजन बंगाली हिंदूज में ज्यादा थी, एंड दे यूज टू बी इन द फोर फ्रंट अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिश गवर्नमेंट। तो वहां पर वो जो ईस्ट बंगाल जो है वो मुस्लिम मेजोरिटी प्रोविंस बन जाएगा। उसके बाद में जो वेस्ट बंगाल का जो एरिया था, वहां पर मेजर देखिए वहां का जो डेमोग्राफिक स्ट्रक्चर इस तरीके से था कि ईस्ट बंगाल में मुस्लिम पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा था, जो कि आज का बांग्लादेश है, और वेस्ट बंगाल में हिंदू पॉपुलेशन ज्यादा था। लेकिन वेस्ट बंगाल के साथ में बिहार और